It's that time of year again, when azaleas bloom like clockwork and the fairways feel untouched by time. Where green and white aren't just colors, they're a symbol of April's long-awaited arrival. A passage through timeless style, endless charm, a pure expression of the Masters in every possible way. The living tapestry of tradition on these hallowed grounds comes alive. Under the green and white, the world simply slows down. And we remember why this place and this tournament, well, it never gets old. And that reminds me, our next guest is about to arrive. See you under the umbrellas. Hi, I'm Kira K. Dixon, and today the 2015 Masters champion Jordan Spieth is under the umbrellas. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I saw you just look up and like, what's the emotion of seeing the umbrellas?
This is where it all goes down at Augusta, but not for us. We just walk by them, but it's where everybody has their meeting spot, they're viewing, they're getting food, they're getting drinks, they're getting ready to go out there and watch some golf, or they just watch 9 and they're taking a break. And yeah, there's no other place like it where you have that kind of meeting spot and kind of a regrouping. And we walk by and we say, must be nice, looks nice out there under the umbrellas.
It's always nice under the umbrellas. But today, the umbrellas have come to you. They've gone from Augusta National to the AT&T Discovery District right here in Dallas, Texas, your home. What is it like getting to actually sit under the umbrellas, enjoy this experience in your hometown?
Yeah, in downtown. It's really cool, and it's awesome they're going to bring that experience here for everybody to be able to view the Masters on the big screen Friday and Saturday of the tournament, and kind of bring that connectivity to everybody here in town. I think my golf bag will be out there, and then they'll have have it up there, have food, drink, place to hang out. Should be beautiful out. Typically, I think maybe there's a bubble for weather here like there is at Augusta, where no matter what, it kind of dodges in here, and if not, you're under the umbrella, so you're good.
Exactly. So you mentioned the watch party. It's going to be here Friday and Saturday. There's going to be Masters themed food. There's going to be floral photo activations. There's going to be every opportunity to get to experience what it's like to sit under the umbrellas. When you think about the energy that Augusta National brings to the spring and the Masters tournament, how impressive is it to you that it's grown so far beyond just being on site at Augusta National?
It's crazy. I mean, it seems like it's the unofficial start of spring. It's like for anyone that's up north, you look down, you're like, okay, spring's coming, and sometimes it's already been warm here, but it still doesn't really count until, for whatever reason, the first week of April, when you start seeing the previews of the tournament popping up and the azaleas on the back of the 13th hole, and it's amazing. It's a golf tournament the way I look at it, but it's turned into so much more.
You mentioned that your bag is going to be here. Every year, AT&T designs a very special bag for you. The theme this year is Meet Under the Big Oak. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's where. Well, it means a couple things. The big oak is in the back of the clubhouse at Augusta, and without phones, you have to try to figure out where to meet like you had to back in the day, I guess. And it's where a lot of business happens, but it's also where people just meet. So it'll be cool to have that on the golf bag. Everyone who's there is going to kind of know what it means, because they probably said it that day. We're going to meet under the oak at some point in time if we get lost. And there's so many people out there and so much to do. People like going down and seeing Amen Corner. Others like to go where maybe they can see more golf on the front 9 where it's not as crowded. Everyone meets under the big oak at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's always a good anchor point. And it's nice that it's going to be symbolized on your golf bag throughout the Masters tournament. Yeah,
there's always, such unique golf bags I've had for the Masters. And this one, I just don't know how AT&T continues to come up with new ideas like that that seem, super cool and play right into everybody's experience at the Masters.
Can you believe it's been 11 years since
that fateful day?
Not
In
really.
2015?
I mean,
You're 21 years old. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it was wild. I was just in the locker room with a couple of like the really young players on the PGA Tour, and I'm like, I've always been the youngest in the room, I felt like, for a long time. And even a few years younger than me feels like the same age. And now there's actually like a generation out there that's like, wow, I mean, I remember when I was your age, and I mean, it went by so fast, but also like, how am I that much older than you now? How has that much time gone by? It's a, you know, it's a wild situation. Lots happened in life since then. And yeah, I'd love to get another opportunity and have it not be the only one.
Lots happened in life. Sammy, Sophie, and Sully
Yeah.
are a big part of that. How is your enjoyment of the Masters, or how you experience the Masters every year, evolved as your family with Annie has grown?
I mean, obviously the par 3 becomes, that's where you're like, oh wow, we got another one of these suits that we're getting.
It's
I'm like,
the cutest
how many
thing
suits
ever.
are there?
I die.
I'm like, oh man, all right. I used to play the par 3. Now by the time I get to the first green, I'm disqualified, you know, because somebody's picked a ball up or hit a shot or something. But it's for the best. It's amazing. I mean, it's, you know, we try to make it feel like another week on the road, but then you have all these traditions that make it so different. So I'm trying to make it feel normal, and then it just isn't. And it's so additive. It's really cool. Yeah, that Wednesday's a special day for sure.
What are some, other than the par 3, what are some of the other traditions that you and your family have had around the Masters tournament, whether it's a special meal or a special place you go before the tournament starts, or anything that makes it feel particularly special to you?
Well, Tuesday night, when I go to the Champions Dinner, Julie Crenshaw has put together kind of a dinner for some of the ladies of the Champions. And so we make it kind of like a pseudo date night. We don't end up seeing each other, but we go our separate ways when we get to the club, and then we meet up after. I go down, and we, you know, they're always hooting and hollering downstairs, and so, you know, with whoever's hosting. And so that's kind of a fun one on Tuesday, and then you go into the par 3 Wednesday, and then all of a sudden it's tournament time. So once the tournament starts, nothing really feels different. But that Monday through Wednesday is, there's something special kind of each day.
Yeah. Okay, the Champions Dinner. When you were 21 years old, you settled on traditional Texas barbecue. Take us back to that conversation. How did you work with Augusta National on the menu? How did you land on that?
Well, they consulted with some barbecue masters from a couple places down in Austin.
Cool.
And put it all together, and, you know, like upscale barbecue, and it was really good. I got complimented by I got complimented by a lot of, the older guys want simple, you know, they don't want to go crazy. And it was simple enough. There was some spice to it that some avoided, and but yeah, I didn't really know what to do. Like you said, I was 21, and it was like, I was super nervous because I mean, that room, and you know, you're speaking in that room, and you're just like, I don't know what to say to these guys.
What did you say?
I pretty much was like, this is what I'm serving on the menu, and what an honor to be in here. I can't really remember, but it was pretty much like, you know, I looked up to everybody in that room. Everyone there is the reason that I'm in this room, and you know, it's so special to be able to sit here now. From now on, I hope I can host more. I probably didn't say that, but I was thinking
You're
that.
thinking
but,
that,
yeah. I mean, I think I was trying to just keep it as short as possible, because you know, the best speaker is Ben Crenshaw, the unofficial host, and chairman always gives some cool remarks. And then my dinner was happened to be Arnold Palmer's last, and so it was a pretty special dinner in that it was kind of about Arnold. And there were a lot of people that spoke and told Arnold stories, just because he wasn't doing great.
Yeah.
And so obviously that made it unique, and fortunately took a lot of it away from me and where it needed to be on him.
Do you happen to have a favorite Arnold story?
I didn't get to know him extremely well, but I did get to meet him under the live oak, actually, my rookie year. My first Masters, not my rookie year, but you know, I found myself in a conversation with Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer about the golf course. And I mean, he was just, you know, as everybody says, he was who he was. He was the, you know, kindest man. He was offering advice. I was 20 years old. My eyes were like this. I didn't know what was coming that week. And I still try to take bits and pieces of what they said, and use it to my advantage.
What's it like when young players come up to you now and are asking you for advice?
Yeah, fortunately that hasn't really happened that often yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet, but I have been asked, by guys to play practice rounds when I used to be the one asking to play practice rounds with some of the, Tiger, some of the veterans and stuff. And now guys are like trying to play practice rounds with me, and I'm like, all right, that's fine, but you're not getting in Michael's yardage book. Like, this is years and years of plotting stuff. Like we're, I try to pick and choose. Like, I want to be nice, but
yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that you do learn over the years. There are angles and pins, and okay, this is actually all right, this isn't, and trying to hope. Yeah, I'm maybe in like 10 years.
Okay. You're like, I've been working on this data, man.
Yeah,
this is my
exactly.
data.
Yeah, like let's give it another 8 to 10 years before we start opening up a can of worms. So
okay.
Most of those other guys that I asked were like at least 40, so they were
okay.
Good.
They were happy to share at that point.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'll re-ask that question. Under the umbrellas in 10 years.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Other than obviously your own win at the Masters tournament, what do you call your favorite Masters memory, either from growing up and watching the Masters tournament or from having been on site when something remarkable happened at the Masters tournament?
I mean, the one memory that comes to mind is I remember watching Tiger chip in on 16 against DeMarco with the chip up the hill and back down, and it was just it's just one of those shots that you immediately get up and you go try to practice. Like I watched it at the golf course, and you go try to hit it yourself or wherever you can replicate it. Phil making his putt to win his first major. I mean, just these iconic moments that happened there were like right in the middle of me falling in love with the game and really taking it up. And and they were some of the most iconic moments at the Masters ever. And to have that kind of right in my mid-teenage years, it was super inspiring. So for me personally, at the grounds, it's not my win. It was that first year. I played it as the first year that I played it, walking from 9 to 10 and being like, I have a chance to win the Masters on Sunday. The first time playing it, it was like, I just come off 2 bogeys. It took me from the lead to 1 or 2 back, but I was like, anything can happen on this 9, and it was Bubba's day, but but that was pretty unbelievable there. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint, a memory or two. I mean, obviously coming up the 18th hole with a 4-shot lead is like the coolest walk in the history, anywhere that you could have in golf. So I try not to get ahead of myself till it actually went in the hole, but I could have smiled a little bit more walking up. I felt pretty safe at that point, but I was like, head down, get it in the hole.
Yeah.
It was, wire to wire, it was just a heavy week. It's like you'd think you want it to like last forever, but in reality, when you're in the lead, like you don't even want to go home at the end of the round. You just want to start the next round. So you're just trying to do everything you can to speed the whole process up. Just stay in your rhythm and stuff. So when it became the last hole, I was like, all right, let's keep our head down one more hole and be done. But it was, then afterwards, it was special, on the stage there. I remember the stage more than I remember like Butler Cabin. Like I remember the outdoor stage. I don't really even remember Butler Cabin. But outside there, and you get to look and see your people sitting down, and
Yeah.
Because it's a team effort. It's like everybody puts all their heart and soul into it just for you to be up there. And it's like, man, it should be a collective celebration.
Do you remember what you did that night after leaving the stage and the lights turned off?
Yeah, I had the jacket on, and we didn't get out of there till late, just with the stuff you do afterwards. And I remember pulling out back down Magnolia Lane, and my agent was driving, and I rolled down the window and I just started screaming. Like I was like, just like a kid that, just hit a game-winning basket or something.
That's amazing.
Just screaming as loud as I could going back down. We got back to our rental house, and a lot of my friends had come, and they all had like champagne bottles and they were spraying, and then my agent's getting mad because the jacket's getting soaked and I've got to wear it in New York the next day or whatever. And he's like, no, wait till he takes the jacket. I'm like, I'm not taking the jacket off.
The champagne is happening now.
Yeah, well, there'll be a dry cleaner. We'll figure this out. And they're like, dry cleaning the green jacket? Right? And so I don't know. I think I just wore it stained for like 2 or 3 days. And then, but yeah, I very much remember after. I don't remember really any of the interviews or anything like that, but I remember driving out and I remember everything after. It was awesome.
Golf is such a game of patience and staying inside yourself and in the moment, and then so rarely do you have the opportunity to just let go and enjoy a moment like that.
Yeah, it just felt like 4 days of kind of, I don't want to say stress, but just anticipation. Yeah. And I just let it out. It was
4
great.
days, your whole life.
Sure,
well, your young 21 life, but still, all the
Yeah.
dreams that you had growing up, and how many times did you practice putts on your putting green at home? This is to win the Masters.
Yeah, if only I'd have known I could practice like 4-putting it, quite a bit easier. That's the ultimate goal. It's cool to make a putt to win. It's even cooler to be able to just nudge it in.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, I mean, to me, it just felt like 4 days. It just felt like after the first round, it was like, wow, I've been playing great. Now I'm leading. So it's kind of that post first round on that I just, let out.
What is it with people from Texas winning the Masters? There's a lot of Masters champions from Texas.
Texas has a great golf history, so maybe it's just a numbers game.
Okay.
You know,
a lot of people here.
There's just a lot of people who play golf here, junior golf, here, Arizona, California, Florida.
No, it's Texas.
Yeah.
The most Masters champions.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, and Ben Crenshaw's points that out every single time. He's very, very proud of it. Yeah. Which is cool. But yeah, I'm proud Texan, grew up, with Ben Crenshaw being the guy because he won 2 Masters and he went to the University of Texas, and you want to follow in his footsteps. And he looked up to Hogan and Nelson and, a number of guys even before them. So, and then now you got Scotty having a couple of them, and it's just Patrick Reed, technically a Texan, Louisiana a Texan. Yeah. So even quite a few lately. So it's I don't know what it is. I think it's you play in the wind here, you play on the Bermuda grass, it transfers well, I guess. You need a little more feel and imagination to shots than just driving range shots. So but I mean, you could say that about any course, so I don't know what it is. Something in the water,
it's working.
I guess.
Yeah. Something in the water is right. Shall we do some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
What is your favorite sandwich at the Masters tournament?
Pimento cheese.
Pimento cheese, excellent choice. A classic, some might say. Where would you watch the Masters tournament if you were a patron? On site, and then we can also talk about.
I would sit on, there's a hill where you can see 6 green and 16 green. And I think that would be super exciting because they're just 2 par 3s with shots. You can see a hole in one, you can see carnage, you can see chips that go up hills and down, and it's just, you gotta get, I think it's a underrated spot.
And then the AT&T Discovery District is obviously going to be an amazing place to take in
clearly
the action for the patrons.
They might have a better view here than I would have on the course. I mean, look at how everything's bigger here. So
everything's bigger in Texas. Who other than yourself has had the best Champions Dinner menu that you've gotten to experience?
Easy answer, Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay. If you're a sushi fan,
I mean, it was
Wagyu fan.
Exactly. It was both. It was like the best of both.
Who is the funniest Masters champion?
Funniest Masters champion. Fuzzy is always super funny. It's like such a mix of personalities. I'm trying to kind of put two and two together.
It's an interesting crew.
Like Adam Scott and Trevor Immelman definitely make the most of it. Like they have the best time of the bunch.
They have the best banter.
Like there's laughter that comes out of their corner more than anywhere else. Okay. Scotty's pretty funny. Scotty, I kind of end up around like Scotty, Zach Johnson, Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
And but it's a good question. I'll have to think about funniest.
Okay. you'll get back to me on that one.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the last one, the seating arrangement at the Champions Dinner, this seems to be a very specific thing.
It's not. It's open seating.
But is it?
But there's certainly you respect, you know, these 5 seats.
Of course.
Where somewhere in those 5 seats are going to be Jack and Tiger. Arnie used to sit there. Gary Player typically actually sits over opposite the head of the table at the far end. And then, I mean, I think I described it last week as like when you're in grade school and you have a seating arrangement, you're like really upset about it. And then some teachers will give you open seating and then everyone just ends up sitting pretty much in the same seat the whole year, even though you can sit wherever you want. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because you're rushing in to try to get your seat next to who you want to sit by. And everyone's just, after the picture, everyone stands for the picture. And then everyone's just trying to go to their similar places that they've been going. I mean, after seeing it for like, 10 years now, it's like, it's kind of funny. Especially when you watch, like, I thought last year was pretty funny because you had, one of them where after you win, you're always interested to see where that person's going to go try to sit when they didn't win the next year. So like Scotty, and he's like trying to figure out how to squeeze in where we are, or else he's just maybe left on an island with people he doesn't know very well or something like that. It's just because you have people in their 20s to people in their 80s, and it's like, and some most of I would say half the guys there maybe are playing in the tournament, the other half aren't, and it's just it's an amazing room, but it's a funny dynamic when it comes to seating.
Okay, all right, gonna find the right seat, enjoy the energy.
Yeah,
part of it.
Yeah.
All right, last thing, who is your favorite player to pair up with for the par 3 contest and get to enjoy that experience together? I
play with JT every year. Hopefully Ricky as well. Yeah. Ricky's daughter and his oldest and my oldest are like 4 days apart, and they're crazy. And so and we've played. They're
getting you disqualified from the par 3 contest.
Well, if you can, there would be a chance. We've played with Max Homa before, but JT's been the constant every single time. We try to play practice rounds as well. I mean, it's like we grew up together. We're so close, and then it's the Masters, and we're like, every time we're out there playing practice rounds, it's like, how cool is this that we're doing this, we're hitting these shots, you play around with the fans in the practice rounds too, like you're skipping shots, you're doing cool chips. It's and then it's kind of full circle for us because like we just grew up hoping to do this one day, and then may as well embrace it. Now we're however many years into it, like can't do it forever, so may as well. When you first start out doing it, you're like, oh, we're just gonna be doing this for 30 years. Like, well, now now we're halfway in. So I think we enjoy it more each time. We try to get that quality time of really embracing kind of everything that they offer that week, whether it is Wednesday or we'll make sure we spend the time doing the practice rounds. It's like I said, we try to make it like every other week. You go into it with the same mentality, you're trying to do the same routine, and then it just isn't.
It's special.
Yeah.
And you're grateful for every single moment, I'm sure.
That's right.
And we're grateful that you were able to join us under the umbrellas here at the AT&T Discovery District, and we look forward to seeing you under the umbrellas. Well, you won't be sitting there. I will be sitting there and enjoying the Masters tournament on site at Augusta National. Jordan, we really appreciate you joining us.
You got it, Kara. Thank you.